But if you close your eyes,
hello awesome people, welcome back to Software Inc. Hipbone Inc. is back, that's right. We're gonna do this series a little bit differently than normal. I'm gonna talk about it in just a second, but first, let's take a look at our character. It's the same character from the last series, Mr. Hipbone, and the company is called Hipbone Inc. We're gonna do a big challenge here, and probably you've read the title of the video and you already know what this title, what the challenge is gonna be. It's gonna be called the Impossible Challenge, and I will explain why we're going to do this and how we're going to do this in this video. This is going to be very much an introductory video, so not a lot of gameplay in this video. That will start in the next episode, but it is very important to get this to watch this video to actually understand what we're trying to do. Otherwise, you're going to think that I'm going to make mistakes or going to play in a stupid way. But I'm going to set a sort of a combination of rules, a set of rules that's going to make it really hard on me and ourselves to really do something in this game, because I wanted to do something different with Software Inc. I don't want to just play the game and create some products and see how much money we can make, because everyone's doing that. So what I did was I actually went on the workshop and looked for a mod to make it really difficult, and I found one. And I think I've got some strategies to actually get through the first phase, and I even made it more difficult for myself to get to that first portion of the game, because that's basically what we're going to do in this challenge. Try to survive until we make money from products. But we have, like I said, a very specific rule set that we need to use there. So this is Mr. Hipbone. It's the same character as the last one. Look-wise, we are an optimistic extrovert. That's because I want to be at some point a leader, and all of our specializations are set to 2D because that's going to be our first product, and I'm going to tell you why in just a sec. Now, the mod I was talking about is I call it the Impossible mod. If you want to download it or want to know where I got it, you can just ask on the Discord or in the comment section. I will gladly give you the link if you want to dabble around with it yourself. The only thing is, it's not in here. You have to enable it in the main menu under options and mods to actually make it to work. So if you don't know, if you're trying this out and you can't really find it, that's where it is. It's not over here. You can't toggle it on over here. It's in the mod section of the options menu in the main menu. I don't know why, but that's just the way it is. And yeah, what it basically does is it makes the game a lot more difficult. It adds more starting years, but it also adds more starting year options, I should say, but it also adds more difficulty settings, and that's where we're going to come in right now. Because what we have is here, we have a sandbox, we have super easy, easy, medium, hard, and impossible. We're going to be playing on the impossible, and I'm going to show you something. Just take a look at this. You can sort of allocate your skills at the start of the game. You can drag these up or down, and you can see the skills are changing, and that way you can sort of make your character. Now, what I wanted to sort of simulate is that I, as a person, started to make some software. Now, I don't know anything about software and the producing of software, so I wanted to start off as a complete bum in this series, just not knowing anything. So if we go to Impossible, you can see that all this is set to 1%. Now, if we drag this up, we can actually max out one of these things. As you see, that's sort of the rule set. But I found something out. If you change difficulty back to impossible, you can also start the game like this. And this means that your character has a 1% skill in everything. Now that's a complete bum in my eyes. And we're going to try and do it like this. Sorry. We're going to try and play it like this. So that's very difficult. We can't do anything. We're not specialized in anything. We need to make money because, as you can also see on this difficulty, we start with a loan of minus 45,000 starting funds. So we have to take a loan to pay back our previous debt, actually, what we start with, and also have enough money to start making our first products and get off the ground, basically. So we also start with a minus 45 debt, basically. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about is, well, this skill set is definitely going to be a challenge. And to make it even more difficult, because in one of my test runs, what I did was I just started the game and hired a worker for me, made sure that I have the money to hire a worker, hire an employee, with a good skill set and just let him do all the contracts and everything. Sorry, I have a bit of a thing in my throat. I'm gonna take a sip of my drink. Much better. Okay, so, but yeah, in that one sort of test game, I just hired a worker for me, make him do all the contracts, and that way it actually made it a lot easier. So, the last rule we're gonna allow ourselves to work with, or basically unallow ourselves to work with, is we cannot hire anyone. Nobody, not a marketer, not a leader, programmer, designer, artist. The only thing we can hire is cleaners and stuff like that. But we cannot we cannot hire an employee that actually will do work for us to make money for us until we get our first release done. That's why I chose the 2D design, code, and art specialization, because the 2D editors are probably the best way to go if you want to make a successful product on your own. But yeah. Since we have no skill, it's going to be a real challenge to basically get to the point that we can make a good 2D editor, because it needs to be good, because otherwise we won't even have the money to hire an employee to actually, get a little bit growing and get a little bit better as a company. So it's going to be a really, really, really tough challenge. And because it's really tough, I opted to start in 1970. Now, normally you start in 1980, but in 1970 it gives us a little bit more time to basically get our first product out of the door and not be overwhelmed by the competition, basically. So that's why I chose that. I hope it's gonna work. I'm not entirely sure. It just gives us a little bit more time, because that's the last thing I should say about this series. It's just gonna be a little bit more slow-paced than normal series. Because, well, for instance, we're starting with a minus 45,000 budget. So we have to pay back this, but also the loan that we take. Because we have to take a loan, otherwise we can't even start the game. So we have to pay back that loan, and then we have to, do contracts to pay for training, because we need to get better. And then we have to make our first product, and then we have to do that all on our own. So it's going to be a long grind to get to that point where we actually have our first release. But after that first release, we can hire anyone we want, and we can actually go in and make the company really successful, hopefully. Because the other thing I've noticed about this mod is that it makes the market, the software market, a little bit more different. I don't know if you guys have played the game, but if you can, but you probably can relate that if you make a good product, your first product, it just explodes. First month you can sometimes, even if you can pay for the amount of copies, that is, you can sell up to like 200,000 copies in the first month, which is nuts. You can easily make like 5 million in the first month if you have a really good product and you can actually pay for the amount of copies that you need to sell if the demand is that high. That's not happening in this mod. I don't know if it's part of the mod or it's part of one of the updates to the game. But the software market, the demand is a little bit more stable. It grows into the growth of the product. So if you have a really good product, you will sell it still, but it sort of generally grows up to a nice profit over time, instead of just like making 10 million the first 3 months and then goes down to like 1 million for the last like 10 months and then just it's sold out, basically. So that's one of the other things that we noticed, and that is an advantage, because you have sort of a more stable profit over time. But the other thing is that you don't have that huge cash injection after your first release, if you have a good release, of course that is. So that you don't have that huge amount of money to invest immediately into a better team, a good support team, and all that type of stuff. So that's going to be both a disadvantage and an advantage. And I think we have been talking enough for now. So just to get some gameplay also in this video, because it's, like I said, it's a small introductory video. We're going to start off, like I said, 0%, well, 1%. This is 1%. We can't set it to 0. If we use the sliders now, it will pump some of the other ones up. So I'm not going to do that. The only thing we need to do now is we need to take a loan to make sure that we can have our starting fund. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a full loan. We're going to take a full loan. We have to pay back a lot of money, but that also gives us some leeway so that we can fill some contracts. But because you have to remind, probably a few of you guys are just thinking, yeah, well, you're just going to do a lot of contracts until you have the money to pay it back. Basically, yes, but on the other hand, we are so bad at everything that just doing a simple contract will even not give us that much money, because we can't really make a good quality product because we're just that bad. So that's going to be a real challenge too. So yeah, we have set up the loan. I'm gonna go with this, and let's start. We're gonna start in 1970, 1 day per month. That's totally fine by me. We're gonna pick a map. We're gonna start on an empty plot. So basically, we can go and rent something. Not really worried about that. I'm gonna start with an empty plot. We rented last series, but now I think we're just gonna make a simple thing in the well. Let's go rural. Let's just build a simple hut in the middle of the forest, and and try and build ourselves up until we are the market leaders basically in the software world. So let's go. Okay, let's wait for a sec and let's start building. So we can pause here, and the first thing we do is we have this little plot of land. Awesome, amazing stuff. This is the bus stop. That's where we come in, and we can start building. So that's new. I didn't even see that. But yeah, we're gonna just build a little box over here. Let's do 5 by 5. That's gonna be fine enough. And we're gonna just build a little door here. Nothing too fancy, because this is just gonna be for ourselves. And because we are the only ones gonna work here basically until the first release. After the first release, we should have the money to basically build a bigger building, and we will start over. We'll just demolish this area and start over with a better building. So we're going to put in 2 windows over here, 2 windows over here. That's going to be totally fine. Let's make a really easy, just working area here. So let's go. Oh, I also have some mods for different stuff, as you can see. Basically, it doesn't really change much of the game. It just gives us some more like extra furniture like this, and that actually makes it really cool. So. Let's make an maybe go for an L desk here. Why not? Let's go for an L desk. Let's do a little bit fancy, a little bit. We have a loan, so why not just throw the money away, right? That's totally affordable for us right now. Let's pick a computer. Let's set the computer. Can we do that? That would be cool if we could do that, but we can't. Okay. Let's give him a good chair, because I don't want to get him into pain, because he's sitting on a bad chair all the time. Let's put a lot of these guys in, because we need to learn. I'm not even sure if that actually applies to your own character, but I hope so. Let's put in a light, because we'll need that. Let's put in a radiator, and let's put in a fan, or what is it? A cooling air cooler, ventilation. Yeah, sure, ventilation. That's going to be really good. We're going to give ourselves the inbox, which is basically a leader tool in my eyes. It helps us to get some skill boost in everything, and basically because we're going to do everything, because we need to, yeah, we basically need that. It's probably the best option here. So we have a little plan to make it a little bit more homey. We are pretty good here. I think that's it for everything right now. I don't think I need more. We could actually put some small product printers over here, but that's not going to work out, because we're not going to really print ourselves. And we don't need water or a toilet or anything, because our guy is just amazing, and he won't do. He doesn't go to the toilet basically, and he doesn't need food or drinks or whatever. He just comes here, sits and works. Yeah, so that's basically it. The other thing that we're gonna do is, of course, manage our team. So we're gonna set, well, let's work one hour more, and once we get our employees, I want to set them to, you can go on vacation whenever you want. I don't really care, to be honest. And let's, yeah, let's actually start. That looks fine to me. So we're gonna start this, and we're gonna see with how much money we start, because I think there is even gonna be a chunk of change going down. Yeah, so we actually made a little bit of money. That's the loan. Yeah, that's the loan we took. Okay. So we built this. We took out the loan. So we have some money. We have 63,000 to work with right now. Now, if we go over here to loans, we have to pay out $283,200. euros, sorry, to pay this back. And until that one, we can't take another loan. I think we cannot take another loan. No, we can't take another loan because we already have one. We pay 4.8 thousand euros per month. So basically we have to make at least 4.8 thousand a month to make a little bit of profit to eventually pay off our loan and start making money on other ways. And the only thing we can do now is basically we can sit our guy here. I'm gonna give him the leader role too. Everything, he can do everything he wants because yeah, basically he's bad at everything. As you can see, we have a skill of 1.25, 1.25, 1.25, 1.25, and 0. Okay, that's like I said, a complete bum. We could go for education because we have some money, but yeah, we're gonna lose a lot of money because of the loan interest. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna first start off with some work. The other thing I also want to do is I want to buy my own stocks at some point, but we can't buy the stocks, as you can see, with loan money. So we need to make money ourselves, pay off the loan, and then buy our stocks. And like I said in the last series, this is a very good way to sort of keep yourself afloat once you're starting. Make sure you buy your own stocks when they're cheap before your first release, because after that they will rise up if you have a good release and other people might buy them, and you don't really want that. And there's also a way of, if you can sell them, that's also very good. So we're going to sort by income here. So my guy can do everything. Well, actually, we said he can do everything. He's a complete bum at everything, so he can't really do it really well. But what we could do is we could just give him a lot of these contracts and just hope that he can do good enough to make a little bit of money. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this. I'm not even going to design them. They don't really need to be good. So we're just going to design them and hope that he can do a lot of them in one day. That's what we're going to hope for. And this is going to be sort of the grind we're going to do until we get to the point where we can train him up and where we can get him better to do some better stuff. And of course we need to also train him in design and art, because we are the only one who is going to make that first product, and it has to be a good one. So we can't really say, okay, he's going to design a bad product just to have the first product out and then get some other people in, because then we just can't pay for that. So these are all fine. I'm just going to release them everything. And as you can see, we got barely any money because it's inadequate quality. We can't do even better. We could actually, I tried to get rid of some of the bugs. It doesn't really matter. It's just he's so bad at this that he's just he's just not going to do anything. We're also going to do some art, and this is also important because this way we can actually train him up a little bit. As you can see here, he is actually he's got a little bit of coding skill, and he's getting a little bit of art skill here too because he's doing this. Now this is definitely not enough to make him good at anything. You'll probably have to spend the entire game doing this. Could you please finish this? Okay, thanks. No, I guess not. It's a rainy day. Let's release this. So we got, okay, the art is a little bit better because, well, the art is not really a good quality. You just need to finish enough of art, basically, to do that. So that's actually a good option for us. But I also want to get rid of all these simple ones. Because coding is going to be important. We need to be better at coding at some point. Like I said, we need to train him up a little bit. And, yeah, this is basically our slow grind to, hopefully, success. Let's release without any bug fixing. It's a little bit higher, but that's also because of the income of the contract. Let's go for this one. Well, that's quite a bit of art we have to do. Let's take this one. Let's take the easy contracts for now. Because, yeah, we need to. We did make a nice profit, but, yeah. The thing is still, we need to keep making a lot of profit because we still need to pay a lot of that loan. As you can see here, yeah, we still have a lot to pay back. And this is going to be slowly going over time. We can also do the payout option, which if I have the chance, I'm going to do that. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get rid of this loan as fast as possible. And hope that we will be able to really get that out fast, because then we can actually start thinking about other stuff. So let's take this one. Let's take this one. Let's take all the easy ones that we can get. Those are a bit too high, so we're not going to work on that. We're not going to bother with that. We're just going to make these work. And there we go. Let's promote them. Let's release them. We still have half a day to work, so this is the 2.78. Yeah, so we have 2 and 1.98. Let's take that one. And this is actually going to be the end of the episode. Next episode, we're going to grind a little bit further. Hopefully, we can get rid of the loan in that episode. And yeah, I hope you guys like it. I hope you guys understand. The last thing I have to say about this series is I'd love to get your feedback. I'd love to get your suggestions in, which is normally the thing on this channel. I really like to get all your suggestions in. I asked you guys questions about naming stuff and stuff like that. And I will always read the comments and try to respond to the comments and try to use the comments in the actual gameplay. But since there is a bit of a situation you might be aware or not aware of on the channel, I can't really record videos as much as I like and at any time that I like. So this series is going to be pre-recorded. I'm going to try and record as much footage as I can before I start uploading the first videos. So that you guys can get a good stream of content coming towards you and not have to wait for an episode for a long time because I just can't record at some point. So that's basically it. So that doesn't mean you can't leave suggestions. Please do, because I will take those suggestions into account when I start recording the later episodes. I might even change some stuff there. And of course, it's always good to get some suggestions, and you can always leave comments and ask questions, because that's also a thing. A lot of guys ask questions about the game, sort of a tutorial-like questions about the game in the last series. I've never meant that series to be a tutorial, but if you guys learn from it, then that's totally fine by me. Good to you. That's really cool too. And if you have any questions, then you can also always do that. And of course, you can always go to the Discord, which is linked down in the description. There's a lot of guys there too that know how to play this game. And if you want any help, that's the place to be, basically. So that's gonna be it. As always, I've been Hipbone. You've been yourself. Thanks for being awesome, and thanks for watching.